Today we're reviewing the Aferiy P180 portable power station. So this has a 1800 watt inverter, 1024 watt battery capacity. And what we're going to do is we're going to open it up, look at the specs and the features real quick, and then get into the fun part, which is actually testing it on the bench. So we'll fully charge it up, do a capacity test on the battery, see if it puts out what they claim. And then we get to do the inverter test, which essentially we're going to test the continuous output and then the peak output and follow up with a sine wave test. So it's on the bench. Let's begin. So it looks like it comes with a nice cover to put the inverter in. Accessory bag with all of your cables. So you have your power cable, and then you also have your XT60 for charging it up by solar. And then here's the manual that comes with it. It's both in English and Chinese. It looks to be pretty complete with a lot of information on the features that come with the unit. Now that it's out of the box, let's take a closer look at the power station. So in the front, you have your standard 12 volt, 10 amp cigarette lighter plug. You also have two barrel plugs, which are 12 volt, 3 amp. You have two USB-Cs. So one is 20 watt, the other is 140 watt. And then you have your USB Type 3s. There's a pair of them. You do have a light in the front, in which that will do your standard illumination and then also SOS as well. For your DC output, it has its own power button to turn it on and off. The same with your USB. On the display, it shows how many hours are remaining of the charge, what your current SOC is, and then the wattage input and then output, and then obviously the frequency, which is 60 hertz in the US. On the side, you have two high-speed fans to help keep it cool. And then on the back, you have four 20 amp plugs. You have your AC on and off. It has a breaker for overload, which is really nice because you can reset it if it does overload. I like having a physical breaker. That is nice to see. It does have a switch on the back to adjust your charging input from AC. You can either choose 500 watts or 1000. And then underneath this cover, you have your AC input and then obviously your XT60 plug. One thing that I did notice right away, and I'd recommend an improvement on, create covers for your AC output. I'd like to see that. That way this can be used a little bit more outside, because obviously if it's a cloudy day, you have it outside, you're camping and you're using it, you don't want to have it potentially rain with this unit because there are no covers for any of the AC output. It would be nice to see it on the USB output as well. So on one of my PEC rounds, it does have covers for everything. So I'd recommend that as an improvement to make this a little more weather resistant. Okay, so the power station's fully charged up. I've got a kilowatt meter, a small heater. I'm going to plug it in and let's see how it does. Okay, so the capacity test is almost complete. As you can see, we're pulling 700 watts with the heater. We're down to 1%. So the power station is almost tapped out. The output on it, so this is in kilowatts. So we pulled 830 watt hours. We'll see what it is when it finally turns off. Now, obviously, this is going to be lower than what the battery is rated because you're going to have inefficiencies with the inverter. So it is going to be a little bit lower. We'll give it another minute or two and it should shut off and we'll see what that total number is. Okay, so looking at the final number, it was 880 watts before it kicked off. So this kilowatt meter has a memory. So that is the last number that was saved. So now what we're going to do is each one of these heaters puts out 750 watts on the low setting and then 1500 on the high setting. Now the inverter says it can put out 1800 watts. I don't know if that's continuous or peak. It just says 1800 watts. So what we're gonna do is power it on and let's see what it does. So turn the first one on. So this is 750 or thereabouts. It's rated for 750. So it looks like it's pulling 711 watts, 710, so we'll call it 710. Turn on the second one. And we're pulling out 1400 watts right now out of it. Put on the third one, which definitely overloaded. And it's now saying 1809, 1810. But as you can probably tell, or maybe you can hear, the fan speed slowed down. So what it's doing is it's lowering the voltage to be able to put out this output in to kind of limit it. I'm going to switch one of them to high, and I bet it's going to go into overload, but let's see. Wow. So it's staying at 1800, it's throttling it, but it's just putting out less per each one. So I'm going to want to check the sine wave on it. Let me first just put this back to how it was. So now they're all 750 again. You can hear the fan speed went up. You turn this one back off on the end. And now they're going full speed. So I think what it's doing is it's just lowering the voltage to compensate to keep this from overloading. So I'm going to turn these off real quick. All right, so now we're going to check the sine wave output. So I've done this already. I can't explain it, but I'm going to show you the output. So this is the AC output. Here's the sine wave, and it does not look, it doesn't resemble at all like a sine wave, and I've got no load on this thing whatsoever. It's got a large dip at the peak, and I think that's part of the reason why it doesn't look very clean. Now I can move the trigger on it and try to keep this from bouncing around as much, but let me show you one of my other inverters that's running my shop. So this is my 12,000 XP. This is a fairly clean signal. You can see a nice sine wave, little bit of distortion at the top and bottom, but not much. That's a pretty clean sine wave out of an inverter. What I'm getting out of this, I mean, I have no load on this whatsoever, and this is what I'm getting. And as much as I try to clean it up, so if I try to adjust the trigger to keep it from moving as much, you can see it rounds up, but then it has a big drop and then goes again. Some distortion there and there. Let me try to zoom this in so you can get a better view by adjusting the time on it and the voltage. You can see it goes up. It has a drop, but it is not nearly as clean as my inverter that's running the shop. I mean, there's a massive difference. You can see what's running my shop is a pure sine wave, and I've got a load on that. But I can't explain that output. All right, so my final thoughts on the portable power station. So the battery capacity was there. It said it was 1,024 watt hours. I believe that's accurate. It did put out approximately 860. There's going to be losses with the inverter, so it probably is 1024. As far as the AC output, it did put out 1,800 watts. Once you go above that, it does lower the voltage to help keep things running. Was able to run my 3 heaters, and it ran it just fine. It would just lower the voltage, which you can see the difference in fan speed and also the heat output. So it didn't reset, it just kept lowering the voltage. The DC output So off camera, I did charge up electronics on a DC output. It charged my phone and my tablet just fine. No issues there. The AC output, the sine wave was pretty dirty, to be honest. It's fine if you're going to be plugging in fans, heaters, things like that. But this particular unit, maybe it had an issue with it, but the sine wave was not very clean on the AC output. So for this unit, once again, heaters, fans, things like that. Not sure if I would want to plug in sensitive electronics into it just because that AC output wasn't that clean. That was kind of the surprise on the unit. So that's my review. Thanks again for watching Mike's Solar Garage.